and welcome to today's episode of the Business Meets Fitness podcast with your hosts Lauren Tickner and James Smith. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about all the different things that they don't tell you when you start out in your personal training career. So I have James on the show, as always, every Thursday, and he has been a personal trainer for a long time. So if you're a personal trainer and you're listening to this right now, you may well be able to relate to a lot of the points that we're about to speak about here. And we are actually just having this conversation just off the cuff rather than planning anything. So if there's anything that we've forgotten, we would absolutely love to hear about what it is that you think. So take a screenshot and tag the both of us in it, because we'd absolutely love to know about any of the other things they didn't tell you when you started out in your personal training career. Before we get into today's episode, I would just like to say that if you haven't joined my free email training for building an online fitness business and you're wanting to build one, then make sure to click the link in the show notes because I've left it there. And James also has a freebie that you may or may not have already downloaded, which talks about how to transfer from being an in-person personal trainer to doing online fitness coaching. So you can grab those two freebies because we just want to go over and above to deliver as much free content to you as possible. So anyway, James, what is the number one thing that they didn't tell you when you first started out in the fitness industry as a personal trainer?
Well, I think the funniest thing is actually what I did get told, and that was by a personal trainer who was working out of the gym where I did my course. And he turned around and said that kind of 85% of the people on the course won't stay in the industry longer than 6 months. And I kind of just didn't believe him at the time and just thought, why would anyone want to drop out of the industry after having qualified? But yeah, I think that then brings us on to what they didn't tell you and the reasons why people actually drop out of the industry.
So why do you think they do? Because that's a massive figure there.
I think it's probably down to actually how difficult it can be if you don't put the time and effort into it. Or I think it's actually people don't realise the time and effort they're going to have to put in to build a business that is sustainable and scalable. I think it's very easy to walk into a gym, you enjoy training, you walk in, you've spoken to other people about training, then all of a sudden when you mention that they now have to pay you, they kind of don't like the idea, and it actually becomes a lot harder to build a business.
Funny you bring that up because I've trained at David Lloyd for years and years, and since training there has been, I think there's only 2 personal trainers who have been there the whole entire time, and all of the other ones, they come and they go, and most of them, funnily enough, I don't really know why, but they end up working in recruitment, kind of random, but who knows why. But anyway, so it's interesting because I think that people just don't necessarily realise how many hours you have to put in to earn a decent amount of money as an in-person PT. And I also think that the impacts that you have over people's lives may not necessarily be quite as satisfying as you may think it might be when you first get into it. I don't know, James, what do you think?
I think, yeah, I agree with you 100% now. I think it can be the most fulfilling job, but it can also be one of the most frustrating jobs. And I think if people don't have any ability to be patient with people, it's going to be a very hard job to be in because people won't love training as much as you do. I can promise you that.
That's so true because you likely got into the fitness industry because you're so passionate about it and you love going to the gym and maybe it's helped your life so much and you want to be able to give that same change that you've had in your life to other people and to be able to give them that gift. But, you know, they hire you because they can't necessarily do it themselves, they need a bit of accountability and they're probably not going to stick to it. And for somebody, I don't know, I mean, I'm not going to lie, I am a very impatient person. So that's why I absolutely love doing online fitness coaching because I found that the people that would come to me online were already motivated and already driven to actually make that change. And so I feel like if I had ever gone down the in-person personal training route, it would have just been absolutely disastrous for me. And I think it would have actually made me fall out of love of ever even doing fitness coaching. And I think that it would have been something that, I probably would have pursued actually a lot less if I'd ever have done that. I think that it's just a different type of person that comes to you online. But anyway, that's not the point of this episode. That's last week's episode, so make sure to go listen to that if you haven't already. But yeah, so what are some other things, James, that you would say? Before we hear from James, I just wanted to let you know that this episode of the Business Meets Fitness podcast is brought to you by Online Fitness Business School. That is my program which teaches you how to build and scale a profitable online fitness coaching business. It also doesn't teach you just how to do the one-on-one online fitness coaching, it teaches you how to build a flagship program, sell it at scale, and also how to become the go-to authority authority figure within your niche, and even how to find your niche if you don't know already. So I've left a link to that in the show notes. It may be open for enrollment when you're listening to this, or it may not. If it's not, then make sure to join the waitlist so that you can jump on the course next time that it comes to open. And if you're absolutely desperate and urgent for it to be open all year round, then let me know, give me that feedback, because it'd be really valuable for me to know whether I should do certain intakes of enrollment where I take it on a bunch of people all at once, or whether I should just have it so that you can enroll at any time of the year, due to the fact that it's a self-paced online course. So basically you enroll, you get access to all of the course, all of the details and all that, and you can go at it at your own pace. You have total lifetime access to it, so you literally pay the investment one time and then you are enrolled for life. So you also get access to the private Facebook group, so I'd love to hear some feedback from you on that. Anyway, let's get back to the episode.
I think what the biggest thing you don't get told is you will get screwed over by big gyms. I think talking of time earlier, it's hard to put in your own time and stay motivated, like when you're not earning money, because you're only earning money when you're training people. And then to put in those hours and then find that a Virgin or a David Lloyd are taking 75% of that wage, it's very difficult to then stay even more motivated to go and gain more clients.
Yeah, and I think it's hard also to start your own studio or something, because you need an extreme amount of money. You know, that's a large fixed cost that you have there to invest all that money into renting. You know, maybe like if you were to then go rent somewhere in gym box. I've heard people say like it's thousands and thousands of pounds a year, which people like. This is why I'm bringing it up again, but it's why I'm so passionate about helping people build an online fitness business, because it's so, you don't have any of these fixed costs. Yeah, you may want to buy the online personal training software that I always mention because it's so bloody amazing. But, you know, that's like, I don't know, something along the lines of $20 a month compared with thousands and thousands and thousands per month, which you have to pay to rent a space. And then, you know, you're going to have to put in hours to then make sure that you break even. And that's what I just find is so crazy. You know, I think personal training is one of those jobs where you are literally you're a slave to your job when you're a personal trainer, I think. I don't know, James, what do you think?
I don't think you can say you're a slave to your job, because there are people out there who are incredibly successful through personal training and people who love it.
Yeah.
However, I do think if you're working at a Virgin or a David Lloyd, you are a slave to Virgin and David Lloyd. Luckily, I've only ever worked in a Virgin where we were paid very well and treated like royalty, because it was Virgin's flagship club. So I can't say I've had any experience of A, renting space, paying thousands of pounds, and B, getting screwed over by a massive corporation. However, I do think if you're your own kind of boss and you're working out of a space that you've managed to kind of get a good deal with as an independent studio, it can be a very lucrative business and you can enjoy it and reap the rewards of it. However, you then also got to think that at some stage you're still going to be paying rent to another individual. So although you are your own boss, you control your own diary and everything, you're also kind of filling someone else's pocket at the same time.
Yeah, for sure. No, when I say you're a slave to your job, what I mean is, you know, you're trading that time for money. That's what I mean by that. I don't mean, you know, it's a negative job and it's something that you're not reaping rewards from, because obviously, you know, to a degree, and hopefully you are truly changing people's lives, because that's what personal training is all about. It's all about adding value to people's lives, helping them get fit, healthy, love their bodies, and also, you know, get those mindset improvements. But I think a lot of times, and you know, I've only met a very small number of personal trainers who love every single moment of it. And look, in any job, you're not going to love every moment of it, but you know what I'm saying. I mentioned a lot of times you don't actually have as much control over someone's fitness journey as you might like, and I think it can just be a little bit disheartening.
I think another massive thing they don't tell you is how unsociable the hours are that you'll be working. Like, you will start work at 5:30 and you'll more than likely have the middle of the day free, and then you'll go into evening clients again that will start as early as 5, and yeah, you might not be getting home till 10, 10:30, and then you're up again at 5:30, or even in the gym at 5:30, and that's excluding commutes either side of it. That's inevitable, it's the way of the job. People want your services when they're not in work, and that tends to be before 9 a.m. and after kind of 5 p.m.
Yeah, so you're killing that time in the day, and I feel like every time that I've seen PTs, I don't know, it's interesting because some PT jobs you're working shifts as well. Like, for example, I know for sure, like in David Lloyd, the personal trainers have their PT time, and then they also have their shift work where they're doing kind of, you know, they're just cleaning up the gym and all that stuff. And I don't know, I mean, it doesn't seem to be as fulfilling as people like to hope it is. And look, if you're a personal trainer and you find your job super fulfilling, then that's amazing. But just realize that there is still untapped potential through not going online, because that is where you're going to be able to scale the most. Just check out the last episode to listen to more information about that if you haven't already. But yeah, I think that this is a really just an interesting point, because I think that when I first started out in the fitness industry, I obviously never started out as a personal trainer because I was already aware of all these different things, because every time I met someone who was working in a gym, they would say all these different points to me, and I was like, that isn't something that I necessarily want to do. So I was fortunate enough to be able to change people's lives online rather than doing it in person. But I think, there's a lot that you can learn in person. I think it's time to take all of that stuff that you've learned and to then find other ways to make it truly scalable, because I think the number one thing that they don't tell you is that it isn't necessarily as scalable as you may think that it could be, unless you obviously find a way to become an in-person celebrity trainer or something along those lines. What do you think about that whole thing, James?
There's always going to be a ceiling that you kind of have to work with. There's only so many hours in the day. And trust me, I've tried to do 10 hours a day, 6 days a week, and it just doesn't happen. You don't have a life outside of it. You sleep during the day, and I've been known to kind of literally sleep on staff room floors, like, because I'm so tired. So you're always going to be working within the ceiling, like an earning potential, and there's kind of only so far you can push your prices up. It was one thing I was initially scared of, was pushing prices up, losing clients. But what you have to think is, say you've got 10 clients and you're charging £30 an hour, you double their session price, you lose half of them. You're still earning the same money, but now you're doing less work. But there's only kind of a point that you can push this so far where people then start to, they don't see any value in the kind of price that you're charging. Why would they go with you when they can pay half the price somewhere else? So again, there is a ceiling that you'll work within. And I hit that point, and that's why I kind of started to transfer all of my business onto online.
And I did have another really good point, but I've totally forgotten it. But I've now just thought of another one, which is you're going to work with clients that you don't like. There is going to be clashes that you have with people. It's just human nature. Even if you're the most amazing person in the whole entire world, there is still going to be someone that you're going to clash with, whose personality you don't necessarily get on with. And this is just, this is business. But in person, I just think that, fitness coaching, I think it's just when the client is the one that has the control and you're the personal trainer, you're the one that's getting employed. If you have a client that you really, let's just say you really don't like them, well, you're going to have to continue to be nice to them because they're the one that's pretty much paying your bills. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think one of my biggest points they won't tell you is, at some stage you're going to have to stop looking at people as cash and rather looking at them as how it's going to affect your business. As bad as it sounds, you will look at clients as cash. It's the way you're going to pay the bills, and initially that is the only way you'll see them. You will start to build kind of a relationship with them over time if they're a long-standing client of yours. However, at the start you'll see them as cash, and what you might find is some clients that you will pick up may only be with you for couple of £100 worth of sessions, but they might actually be more detrimental to your business than kind of they help your business. I now start to turn clients away online and in person if I don't feel that they're fully committed to kind of the goal they want to achieve, because what will happen is you might get someone come in, they want to get in shape for their summer holiday and they've left it 4 weeks down the line. You say yeah, you take their money, and then lo and behold, they don't achieve the results they want because they left it way too soon. Then they go and tell all their friends that they didn't achieve the results with you, and now you've lost the potential of 3-4 clients that you may have gained if you'd have been honest with them, told them that you can get them in better shape for their holiday, not the best shape of their life, and then continue to work with them after their holiday. That would have been a good kind of business plan. However, people will kind of just accept clients as they come through the door just to try and pay the bills. And this is something they don't teach you about. They don't teach you about how to scale a business and how to think about your business. They just teach you how to be a trainer.
Yeah, no, I could not agree more with that. And I think the thing is as well, James, is that you obviously, you were able to turn people away because you have already built your business up to a certain degree, and now you have different sources of income. You're not just doing in-person personal training or online fitness coaching. You're now also helping other online fitness coaches build out programs and all that type of stuff, because you've realized the importance of having, multiple tiers to your value ladder, and you've now become an expert at that. And so I think that's what's really interesting, is like, they don't teach you these business skills, they don't teach you how to make different income streams, and it's just, it kind of, it's just interesting because it's so important as a personal trainer, because you're pretty much always self-employed, and I'd say it's like one of the kind of qualifications where they just don't teach you any business skills, despite the fact that you are going to be having to do more business than the majority of people. If you were to go work in a big company, you wouldn't need these business skills, but as a personal trainer, you're pretty much always, like, to a degree self-employed, because you have to work with your clients, like, one-on-one and all that stuff. So anyway, yeah, like, that's definitely, I would say, the biggest point is, like, they don't teach you the business skills. They don't teach you how to manage your business, grow your business, scale your business, and I don't think they really even necessarily teach you how to do the most efficient client programming and working with different clients in all different ways and all that different type of stuff, which is obviously what you work with, James. So yeah,
I think when you start a job in a PT kind of or a gym, for example, in a Virgin, they'll tell you just to go and talk to people. I remember starting at the Virgin I was in, and given that it was their flagship club and it was £500 a month, they wanted us to go and hassle people on treadmills and try and get them through the door. And my biggest number one tip of how to gain clients in a gym like that, where it's ruthless, like you will get stabbed in the back by other personal trainers, is I literally got a glass jar and put sweets in it, put a piece of paper next to it, and asked people to guess how many sweets were in it, leave them phone number. I then had 15 phone numbers by the end of the day, and I offered them all a free session.
That's a great lead magnet.
I know.
I'm impressed with your business skills.
That was desperate times. I needed clients. But I think that's my number one tip. Like, don't go and hassle people, because people hate it.
And I also think it's just like, if you have already built up maybe a bit of an online presence and you've built up a bit of a social media following, people will then join that gym to come and do training with you. But anyway, that's just for, in-person training. But the thing is, you could get that client just simply through doing it online. So as you can tell in this episode, I'm a massive advocate for online fitness coaching. I think that it's so much more scalable, and I think that is something that truly they don't tell you about. So thank you so much for listening to today's episode of the Business Meets Fitness podcast. If you've liked it, then please do make sure to share. James, do you have anything to add?
I don't have anything to add. Just thanks for listening. And leave us a review.
Yeah, leave us a review, and we will see you in next week's episode.